This is Rig Death coming to you in honor of Second Wind Gaming with our Second Wind reviews. This is going to be our first one, so we're very excited. I'm excited. I know you are too. And what we're going to be doing on this is going to be reviewing old games that have already came out, maybe been out there for quite some time, maybe they got past you, maybe you never even got a chance to hear about them. And or maybe you did hear about them and you're just curious, how are those games doing now? How do they stack up? Well, that's what we're here for, and today we're going to start with Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Now, what can I say about Resident Evil 7 Biohazard that hasn't been said? It puts the P back in creepy. All new storyline, all new characters. If you haven't played it yet, you're definitely missing out. So we gave it a spin after it's been out for almost 2 years, and this is what we have to think about it. The whole game was built from the ground up. It has a totally new operating system and gaming engine that they're using for the graphics and the processing and the textures and all that. And if you're a fan of the Resident Evil franchise through Capcom, then you know in the past they used something called static pictures, you know, for your surroundings and what have you. This expands definitely on all of that. It's very realistic. It reminds me of the PT demo. Very realistic graphically. It really feels like you're there. The game does a great job graphically of immersing you in it. What else can we be said? So if you've never played Resident Evil before, that's okay. You don't need to know the past, the storyline and what have you in order to enjoy this game. It was designed from the ground up, all new characters. You just put it in, plug it in, play. It came out on Xbox One, PS4, PC, and then later on the Nintendo Switch. There's VR versions of it, specifically on PS4. And if you get a chance to play that, go ahead and for once, unlike the Doom VR experience, it's not a different game. It's the full 15-hour, 10 to 15 hour, depending how you play, experience in VR. And this game is already immersive and in your face. Just a pair of headphones and a regular, TV on your Xbox or your PS4. This game is going to have you pooping your panties. And if you have the VR, try it that way. It's a nightmare. It's like walking through a haunted attraction. And I'm somebody that doesn't scare too easy, to be honest. I'm a big horror nut. I'm a big haunted attraction nut. The spookier, the groovier, the better. That being said, this game brings it in the horror element. So what's new about this? Well, if you didn't hear about the game, it steps away from 5 and 6 with the action platform. This is not an action-driven game. This game is a slow survival horror, limited resources grind. And that's what it's supposed to be. You're uncomfortable even when there's no enemies on screen. They did a great job with that. It reminds me somewhat of Texas Chainsaw Massacre or other movies like The Devil's Rejects. These movies that just, even when there's not something going on particularly weird on screen, it's just the atmosphere gives you, that's what this video game does. Okay, and some other differences. If you're not into zombies, well, you don't have to worry. There's no zombies in the game. Instead, the enemies are called the Molded. And you're going to spend the game taking on enemies one by one, which is each member of the Baker family. Jack and Lucas and Margaret. And you're essentially going down to Louisiana to find your missing wife. And without giving any spoilers away, that's how you get there. And right from the jump, as soon as you step out of your vehicle, you're outside, by the way, it's a sunny day, things are uneasy. And they're weird. And you get that sense of dread and angst and anxiety that you really don't want to be there. So what can I say? There's many hours of gameplay. The story is very good. Lots of puzzles. And the puzzles in this one are a little bit different from the past. You find puzzles basically on VHS tapes that you have to stick into VCRs, and as the video is playing an episode, if you will, you end up playing that puzzle or what have you, which will help you figure out a puzzle most likely that you're about to experience. And just like all Resident Evils, there's many ways you can play this game. You can play it, run and gun. You can play it where you're strategic and you're sneaky. And so it's kind of a game for every type of play style. And it's worth at least one playthrough. Things are dark, scary, gory, sticky, put you in a lot of uncomfortable situations that you may not necessarily want to be in, whether it be crawling through some muck, or hiding under floorboards, or running through the hoarding situation. The molded monsters they look like, I guess like a Sasquatch covered in tar is the best way to describe it. Even though they're not very fast, they are powerful. They're bullet sponges. So if you're gonna run and gun through this thing, and there are limited resources, like I said, you're gonna want to be precise with your shots. You're gonna want as many headshots as you can get, things of this nature. And although they're not fast, they are not afraid to get in your face. And the game is set up just right with the camera angles and whatnot. It just seems to be very immersive, and you'll find yourself screaming like a little girl many a times. So, here we are 2 years later. How is it stacked up? Well, since its release, they've released free DLC, the Not a Heroes DLC, and then there was some paid DLC, but it was well worth it. It was the Endozo and a bunch of like those videotapes that I was talking about. It's like Birthday for Jack and little puzzles and cool things to do. Some of it reminds me of Saw. You can definitely feel all the horror influences that the group had taken from to make this game. What else can I say? The hours are there for the playthrough. Running back through it, now I've played it through Xbox One originally when it released, played it on PS4, and I've streamed it on YouTube via VR, the virtual reality headset for PS4. And the game's still scary. It keeps you uneasy. The jumps are where they need to be. It even sometimes feels like it changes things up. There's another addition added to the game since its launch called Madhouse, which is, if it wasn't hard enough for you, try it on this. And for successfully completing that, I think you get some guns with infinite ammo and stuff like that. So the incentive is there to play the game again, and you won't regret it. It's not like beat your head against the wall like some other games. Like Evil Within, which is a very good game, but there are times in there you're just dying until you figure out, or like Dead Souls, you're just dying until you figure out how to beat that specific monster, that specific enemy. 2 years later, I think it stands up very well. I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. And you can get it pretty much anywhere retail now for under $20. So it's a good bargain. A good game. We got Halloween coming up. It's a great one to just load up the front room full of people, maybe stream in a little bit, play the game, get scared, and enjoy yourself. This has been your Second Wind look at Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. If you like this video, do us a favor, like, share, subscribe, press the bell icon, somewhere here, press the bell icon. That way when we upload videos, you'll know about it. If you have any suggestions for games in the past that you would like to be reviewed, or that you just want to see us talk about, please do. Leave a like, and leave a comment in the comment box. Well, that's it for us. This was Second Wind Reviews, and I'm Rig Death, signing off.